What's going on, guys? So we're back with another video. Going to explain the picks, what happened last night. I'll do that real quick, and then we'll get into what my picks are for tomorrow. So last night we had Mikhailuk, Randall, Booker, and Dabuya all did really well. It swept the board. We went, what is that? 4-0 with a parlay on the 3, which I wanted to parlay 4, but you can't do same game parlays if you're doing more than one game. So that was tough. I picked Mikhailuk as a safer play, although he barely eclipsed 12 points, so it's close. But yeah, so we doubled our profits, started with like 30 something and then ended with 31, so that's like 61. Started off like 4 days ago with 50 bucks and now ended up with 61, so we're in the positive by 10 $11, which is like 20 something percent, so we're up 20%. This is day 5. Here are my picks. So my strategy going into this is I'm going to have to pick games that are unrelated if it's a huge slate, so I can parlay them all for like a long chart parlay, which this parlay that I'm doing right now is like 22,000 to like 1, so the chance to be hitting this very little. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna hit it, but you know, might as well give it a shot. If I get lucky, you never know. That's like $1 will give you like 300, so why not? Why not try and just get one thing to like reach my goal, which I only wanted by day 30. I only want $100 because that's still if you're starting with 50, that's still like 200% profit, which is better than any like return I know. So we're gonna keep trying increasing it off of just player props because you know it's just as a fun thing to do. Why not? Okay, so let's go over what we have here. Devontae Graham over 27.5 points and assists at negative 106 odds. So also with the odds, I wanted to pick really high odds. I know that there's a higher possibility or higher chance of the outcome happening if they have lower odds, which I saw so many really good plays at like negative 148, negative 136, like all the negatives that are low. But I wanted to take a little more risk for a little more reward because if I win a bunch of low games, yeah, in like I'll have a higher win percentage, but the amount of profit is not as much. Where I can take these games, which is more like in my favor, I think it's like 55-45, so I could probably make a profit off of it in the long term. So let's see, we'll find out. All right, first game is Devontae Graham over 27.5 assists and points, and I don't think that's a lot. He's been pretty much having an all-star year. I forgot who he's playing against. Give me a second, and I'll explain. Okay, he's playing against Toronto Raptors. Raptors do have good defense. He hasn't played well against them in the first game. I think the first game was like in the beginning of the season when he was just warming up. So now he's fully developed. I think he's ready to go. He's like Charlotte's star player next to Rozier, so I think he'll get that no problem. Lowry's a pretty good defender. He's pretty annoying, but I think he'll get it done. Trae Young over 28.5 points against Houston Rockets. I expect it to be high scoring. Expect it to be fast paced. Should get the points no problem. It's a lot of points though, isn't it? But I think he'll get it. Goran Dragic assists over 4.5. Going against Indiana, a little sketch for me. This is kind of a risk I was going to take, but I didn't have enough games, so I had to pick this Miami and Indiana game because I don't want to take a risk on the Bucks versus the Golden State game because that game could be a blowout. Most likely is going to be a blowout, and I don't know if any of those players could rack up stats within 3 quarters, so I'm not going to take that risk. So I have Dragic over 4.5 assists. Dragic is a pretty good assist man because he used to be a starting point guard for like 7 years or whatever, however long he's been playing. But yeah, it should be a close game. Dragic does get a lot of minutes off the bench, and if it's a close game, he usually plays a little bit of the fourth and plays a lot of minutes, so I expect him to play like 28 minutes. And he recently came off a really good game, which he had like 13 assists and points, and he should ride that momentum into the next game, I hope. But you can see these players go cold at a time. That's why it's a pretty big risk. Next, we have LaMarcus Aldridge versus Boston. Yeah, Boston. Yeah, the Celtics. As you can see, I'm going to pull up something and show you guys. Last game, there was a lot of points scored because it's going to be very competitive. So it was 135 to 115, 250 points in the game. Starting lineup of Walker, Brown, Hayward, Tatum, and Tice. Pretty much the same players. But as you can see, Aldridge did complete crap, 4-1-3, and a lot of players did crap as well. I was going to go with DeJounte Murray over 10.5 points, but super risky as well. So I think, if I'm being honest, I think that, what's it called? Taking a risk on Aldridge over 8.5 points is a fair bet. For reason being, this depends on if Kemba Walker plays. Because if Kemba Walker doesn't play and Marcus Smart starts, I feel like he makes the offense way worse, and his field goal percentage sucks. It's like 35% or around there, 30-40%. It's really bad. I've pretty much had him in fantasy like 2 years ago, and he's still playing the same numbers. And I just feel like he makes the offense a little worse. So there'll be a lot more misses, which means Aldridge will probably get the boards. I'm guessing. I could be wrong. But take the risk. Okay, Lonzo Ball over 15.5 points and -102 odds. Ball has been literally balling past couple games, pretty much going on a streak. He's playing like the number 2 seed he should be, so I expect him to continue here. Get over 15.5 points, which should be pretty easy for him. It's a couple threes. You know, he's playing more aggressive, which I like. Next we have Markelle Fultz over 13.5 points at +104. Going against Washington, they play high-paced, should get a lot of possessions, should get a lot of run if it stays close. And he averages like 18 points against Washington over the past 3 games against them during the season, so this should be no problem for him. +104 odds, that's really good. Next we have Dwight Powell over 6.5 rebounds at +106. No Kristaps Porzingis, he should get a lot of the run, probably 30 minutes. If he doesn't get 6.5 rebounds in that time, he's probably a bum, but you know, who knows. Clarkson over 13.5 points against the New York Knicks. Kind of risky, I'll be honest. But if it's a blowout, this man will definitely eclipse 13.5 points. If it's not a blowout, he still has a chance to getting off the bench minutes, but it'll be closer. The Knicks are playing on a back-to-back, so I expect it to be a blowout unless they decide to kick it into high gear. But they suck without Markieff Morris or Marcus Morris, and he's expected to be questionable for tomorrow, so he probably won't play. But if he does play, this play right here will be way more sketchier than it should be. But we're gonna hope he doesn't play. So that's gonna be it, guys, and hopefully we do well tomorrow. As you can see, I summed these all up. This is some. If I hit all 8 plays, which is very highly unlikely, and I don't expect it, I will end up with 405.43 in profit on top of the 61, which would net me 466, which is like 9 times my profit of what I started. So 900 ROI, which would be crazy. And if that's the case, then we'll ride on to sunset and, you know, into the next day. So here you go. I'm gonna put it in so you guys can see. There you go. Oh, okay. It expired because it was waiting too long, but I'll put it in and we'll see the results tomorrow. Anyways, good luck, guys.